Welcome back to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. One of the topics of conversation that I frequently have with people is regarding genetic predisposition. And I often hear people talk about being genetically predisposed to something almost as if it's an excuse or rationale as to they're going to get some illness or some disease or have some physical problem in their life. And that's not necessarily true, and that's one of the exciting things about our bodies, because our bodies truly are meant to be healthy and to be well and to heal, and even if we have genetic predispositions. And I don't know if this is true or not, but my hunch is we all are certainly genetically predisposed to certain illnesses, certain diseases, and I know for myself that in my family history, obesity is a major issue. And that I am genetically predisposed to being obese. And 16 years ago, I was obese. I weighed 110 pounds more than I do now. And I also know that I am genetically predisposed to have rheumatoid arthritis. And I was certainly experiencing swelling and the signs and symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, and had the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, but also discovered that I didn't have to just accept that as so, and that I could make some other adjustments and changes in my lifestyle and how I ate that altered that and no longer have the signs and symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. And there was a study that was published just actually 3 days ago, or it was reported 3 days ago on WebMD anyway. This was October 11th of 2011, that says healthy diet may cut heart risk from bad genes. And it says we know that eating a very healthy diet appears to make heart disease less likely, but now that even goes for people whose genes put them at a higher than normal risk of heart trouble. A diet high in fruits and vegetables appears to mitigate the genetic risk of a heart attack, says a professor of medicine and epidemiology at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. The finding, if it bears out, could affect many people at risk for heart disease because of a genetic variant that researchers have only recently linked with heart attack. It could also call into question the suggestion that you can't help your genes. The researchers studied the effects of a healthy or unhealthy diet on more than 27,000 people, some of whom had the high-risk genes. They were of 5 ethnicities, including European, South Asian, Chinese, Latin American, and Arab. The studies used different dietary information. For one study, the researchers drew up a prudent diet score based mostly on raw vegetables and fruit intake. The score also took into account risk foods such as fried foods, meat, and salty snacks. For the other study, the score was based on intake of fruit, vegetables, and berries. Those who ate at least 2 of these 3 foods daily earned a prudent rating. The risk of heart attack for those who had bad genes who ate the least prudent diet was increased about 30%. The risk of heart attack to those who had bad genotype who were in the high prudent diet group was not increased. This suggests that diet can weaken the effect of genetic variation, the researchers say. The study findings suggest that lifestyle does matter, no matter what your genes have dealt you. This suggests you may be able to do something about bad genes if you follow a prudent diet that is rich in fruits and vegetables. The worse the diet, the higher the risk of heart attack. The better the diet, the lower the risk. And for years here at Slender for Life, we've talked about the importance of healthy eating and plant-based eating focused on vegetables and whole grains and fruit, and that just because you have a genetic predisposition to any disease or illness does not necessarily mean that you have to get it. And that there are lifestyle changes that you can make that would reduce the chances that you're going to have that disease or illness. And just because you're genetically predisposed to be overweight does not mean you have to do it. Eat healthy, exercise, you could be at a healthy weight. I've been at a healthy weight now for about 16 years as a result of diet and exercise. And so whether it's heart disease that you may be genetically predisposed to, and quite honestly, I suspect that just looking at the heart disease in my family and the illness that my dad had, or the trouble that he had with his heart, I probably have some genetic predisposition for that. Don't know for sure. But I do know that based on the last test results that I had, the comment was, I have the heart of a 25-year-old, okay? But I exercise and I eat healthy. I eat plant-based foods. And the key to all this and being able to make these lifestyle choices, these changes, and make them long-lasting, from my perspective, of course, is self-hypnosis. Remember that we're always in a hypnotic trance, that we're getting constantly bombarded with suggestions about drinking the Coke or eating the chips or going to Jack in the Box or McDonald's, and you walk into a restaurant and they don't give you a serving of pasta, they give you 8 servings, and you walk in the Mexican restaurant and you got enough food there for 14 people, and those of us with Depression-era parents, we were always given the 11th commandment, the most powerful hypnotic suggestion ever given: clean your plate, and I certainly used to clean my plate plus everybody else's. Well, that part of it wasn't genetic predisposition. Those were my thoughts and my emotions. Those were my habits. And yes, I easily put on weight. To this day, I can easily put on weight. But I don't have to, because I use self-hypnosis. I take charge of my thoughts, I take charge of my emotions, I take charge of my habits and my behaviors, and yes, I choose to exercise. I choose to eat a plant-based diet, I choose to drink lots of water, and I choose to use the tools that I have to stay calm and relaxed. And I can be at a healthy weight. So folks, whatever your genetic predisposition may be, don't use that as an excuse to, well, I just can't help myself, I have this illness or I have this disease. No, do your part at being healthy. Eat healthy, eat a healthy plant-based diet, exercise, drink lots of water, and I would encourage you to support yourself in doing that you learn self-hypnosis. And if you look up here at Hypnosis Health Info up in the orange menu bar under Self-Hypnosis, it talks about what self-hypnosis is. The first drop-down tab is the light switch self-hypnosis technique, which teaches you how to take yourself deeply relaxed and bring yourself back up very quickly. Written suggestions tells you how to give yourself suggestions. The next one is Power Minutes, which are 1 to 4 minute MP3 downloads that you can listen to for hypnosis. And then the last one is Hypnotic Suggestions. There's roughly 1,400 suggestions that you're welcome to use, or what I would suggest you do is use those hypnotic suggestions as guidelines on how to word your own suggestions so that they're most meaningful to you. And if there's any way that I can support you in a healthy lifestyle, please give me a call at 206-903-1232 or send me an email, roger@hypnosishealthinfo.com. If you live here in the Puget Sound area, love to see you here in my Bainbridge Island office, or over in Seattle in the Medical Dental Building. Once a month I'm over in Forks. And if you live too far away, then we can set up Skype and internet sessions and phone sessions. We can do the work pretty much wherever you're at, as long as we have a way of communicating. So you put these tools and resources to work, take charge of your health, and remember that to truly make lifestyle changes, use hypnosis and make those changes long-lasting. And finally, also remember that we absolutely do need to reform our health care in this country, and it does begin with each of us taking responsibility for our own health care. We don't have to be victims to genetic predisposition. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.